Hello, everybody. I am so excited for this episode. We've been wanting to put it out for such a long time, but we couldn't find the place. And here's the fucking place. Charlotte and I went to LA about 3 to 4 months ago, and we interviewed 3 of our favorite adult film stars with penises. This interview is with Logan Pierce. You've probably seen him on your computer screens, on your phone screens, in your dreams. We're so excited to get to talk to him. But before we do that, I just want to thank everybody who has become a patron on Patreon. You guys are awesome. Brooke Bucknam, Angus Gilsmore, Richard Mock, Laura Carr, Jessica Smithers-Jones, and Eileen McKenzie. Thank you so much. That's only the people who have become patrons this week and last week. The rest of you, I hope I've already thanked you. If I haven't, remind me. I will say your name on this podcast. We love to give back to our fans because without you guys, this podcast wouldn't have done anything. I mean, maybe I would have come and that would have been great. But we wouldn't have kept going without you, and we couldn't keep coming up with topics and stuff. And you guys and your questions have really helped us so much. And the only way you can help us more than besides becoming a patron is rating, reviewing, subscribing on iTunes. I know we say it all the time, but it's really important. The second you guys rate and review, we go up the charts on iTunes. There are podcasts that are on these charts like higher than us or doing better than us that like are not as good. Like no offense to them, but I'm not going to name them. I'm just saying this podcast is so good. Charlotte and I have put our blood, sweat, and tears and literal cum into this. Like, we're sharing our fucking lives. Charlotte left her job to dedicate her life to this, like, come on, let's shoot us up to top 50, guys. Let's do it. We've been there before. Let's do it again. Like, no one else has a researcher from last week tonight, okay? And no one else has someone who didn't come until they learned how to do it on the podcast that you are listening to. Like, it's a really good podcast. And like the chart should reflect that. And the chart should reflect the downloads. Like, we know that a lot of people download these episodes. Like, it's just not translating in ratings and reviews. So like, we know you're out there. This is not us shouting into a void being like, 200 people, you need to get on your shit. No, there's a lot of you. You're a mighty little army, you companions, you. So let's do this. You can do it. You can do anything, like so many of you have come for the first time after this podcast. You can do anything. You can figure out where the podcast app is. Just search podcast on an iPhone or on your Android and it'll pop up. Or even go into iTunes and look up How Come on Google. iTunes How Come on Google. And then click it. And then try to rate it. And it'll take you to the app yourself. You guys, you can do it. You can do anything. That would really help us if you would do that. Every bit of success that we've gotten is literally because of you guys. And I don't know, we just want more people to know about it. And also, like, it's helped my life. It's helped your life. It's helped Charlotte's life. Like, let's help some other people's lives. And yeah, tag your friends, make them follow us, and also rate, review, subscribe. Okay. Like I said, we recorded with 3 adult film stars with penises the week that we were in LA. Logan Pierce is on this one, but we also recorded with Tyler Nixon and Chris Zysheg, who you know by his porn name, Danny Wild. That episode is so amazing and insane. We are putting only on Patreon, and we're talking about so many things like getting boners that drive you to the hospital, how homophobic the porn industry can be, about crossovers, so much good stuff. We were going to put it on Patreon for $7 because usually that's what the additional episodes are, but I made a little or actually my computer did, and lost the extras from episode 23. So we are making this a $5 extra. And if you don't know how Patreon works, you donate $5 a month. Let's say if you're at that level, you get access to every single extra on the episodes. If you donate $7, you get access to the extras and an additional episode a month. Some of the people that we just shouted out, That's, I think, only like a $3 extra, but you still get a shout out if you do even $20. $20 gets you a phone call a month with me or Charlotte, your choice. Sometimes if we're together, you can get both. But yeah, we want to give back to you guys. So if there's something on Patreon, or if there's something that isn't on Patreon that you're like, oh, I would like to pay extra for this, you can do that. Somebody just messaged us and asked if he can send us a one-time payment because he wants us to have new mics. Definitely hit me up about that stuff. We really, really appreciate the help. You guys know I still run this out of nannies. It's not like a network podcast. This is me and Charlotte taking time out of our lives to do this stuff for you. So if you could take a little second, go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, say something. Hey, Remy, this made me feel really good. Or I just came for the first time. Or Charlotte, your voice is sexy. You know, like whatever you want to say it on iTunes. And even if you don't use iTunes, just download the podcast app, give us a star, delete it, please. It means the world and it changes everything for us. So yeah, we're going to have extras on Patreon with Logan and an entire episode with Danny Wilde and Tyler Nixon, who you should just Google now. They're so hot. Google Logan too. I know I don't want to objectify these people, but they are, and it's like part of their job. So I'm so excited to get this episode started. Let's do it. Again, we were in LA a few months ago. Like I've learned so much since that episode. I'll probably put those extras too, like what I've learned about porn and myself with porn. Like in this episode I was talking about, I'm like, yeah, I don't really watch porn. I have since. So I'll probably do, a little talking about that on the Patreon. But let's start talking to Logan, and you guys are just going to love this one.
How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help, 'cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
I'm coming to you from LA in Tim's apartment. I'm sitting here with adult film performer and author of Between the Sheets, the fantastic Logan Pierce.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm great. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
This is exciting. For some reason, I know a lot of female porn stars in New York, but only male in LA.
In LA, yeah.
Which is like they've got to be male ones in New York.
Yeah, but this is the epicenter of porn.
Yeah.
This is porno land out here. So as a guy, we're shooting, twice as much as a female performer generally. So we have to be on call.
Yeah.
So this is where it happens. So this is where most of us live.
Yeah. And you have a really interesting story to me because you sought out being a porn star.
Yeah, I did.
That was your a lot of people, it's like they fell into it some way. You were just like, fucking is great.
Yeah, I loved it, and I loved watching porn. So I didn't pursue it heavily. It was kind of just passive while I was doing the normal college routine.
Yeah.
But all the pieces fell into place, and the opportunity was in front of me, so I thought, like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm here. If I'm ever going to do it, this is the time. Otherwise, I'm just going to think.
Because you're an educated man.
Enough,
like you were in college. You did videography, right? And
film and media arts. Screenwriting and...
Could get a normal job, had an internship lined up, had a stipend, and then was like, I want to do some porn too.
Yeah, I was here. Even before I came to LA, I emailed a lot of people. I sent in photos.
Amazing.
But it wasn't like every day I'm sending emails and calling like, hey, I just want to follow up. It was like, oh, here's an agency. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, I follow this person on, at the time, MySpace.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, let me see if I can send them a message and, have them respond or on Twitter. But
who took the photos?
At that time, it was me.
Like you just set up like a timer?
Yeah.
With like a Kodak?
I think I was honestly, I used a lot of those like CVS disposable cameras.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I would scan them onto...
It was like a Kodak or like a...
Was it Kodak? I haven't seen those in years.
Yeah, I remember
so.
My friend and we used to take sexies.
Yeah.
But in our mom's lingerie, like we would like take our mom's sexiest underwear and be like, oh, we should take photos. Like, and we'd never give them to anybody. It was just kind of like for us. And then I forgot it was on a roll and like my mom got them developed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. She was like, please don't wear my underwear.
I can't imagine that. At the time, there's some poor guy who's there going through all these photos.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're coming across. I mean, like I said, I took a bunch, so they never said anything, but then the photos would come back to me, and I wouldn't think twice about it. But now I know that someone was there actually physically developing this film.
Yeah. Can you imagine if somebody got discovered by they're like, oh, like my uncle's in porn, and like
I'm sure it's happened.
But it happened, like you got responses.
Yeah, I mean, a couple. Most of them were no's, because every guy says they want to do this. Every guy in the back of their mind, thinks they're capable of doing it. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, no. Mm-hmm. No, 1 out of 100 will fail miserably. So agencies will respond, but they'll often say, much like any book query or anything, like, oh, thank you for your interest, but we're not accepting new talent at this time. So that was pretty much the response I got, until one actually said, hey, if you're coming out to LA, we'll give you a shot.
Give you a go.
Yeah, we like your look.
Yeah.
The short boy next door type look was coming into fashion in porn.
Yeah,
so.
You're very different. Like the porn that I used to watch when I was like younger was like, and Aaliyah and I talked about this on episode 3 of season 1, and I was like, all the guys are fucking bald and scary looking.
Yeah,
and she was like, it's true, and you're just the complete opposite.
I mean, for now.
Once
I start losing my hair and getting fat, who knows? But
so true.
Yeah, I mean,
so true.
There was just a small movement that happened where, I mean, got to thank James Dean. He was really the one to open the door for everyone else. But that look started becoming popular, so it was just a right time, right place.
Do you think that's because more women are watching porn and there's porn made for more women?
I mean, when I got in the industry, everything I shot was quote unquote female friendly.
Right.
That's what they called it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is porn for women.
Yeah.
Okay. So what that actually translated to was just everything was glamorized, Now shots were on sliders and jibs, and there was fog in the room and candles.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I guess this is for women.
Kind of.
It's more like what men think women want.
Right. It's better production value, but it's not like porn that's like actually like made for, like we were talking.
It was all still made by men, so.
Yeah, 100%. And we were talking about in an early episode that like women expect sex to be like romance movies, like rom-coms, and guys expect sex to be like porn.
You're right.
And we have to like meet somewhere in the middle, which is, I think,
they're both fantasies.
They're both fantasies, and they can both be great, but it was so saturated in one and the other. So Tim and I were watching some of your scenes this morning.
Really?
Doing some research together. Yeah, it was so funny that he's like, wait, so like, are you in porn? Because I'm like, we've been watching.
You were watching. Do you remember which scenes they were? Can you talk about them in great gory detail?
So there was one, it's interesting. There was one where it was a girlfriend scene, and you guys, she was like blowing you, and you were like,
yes, of course,
like hitting her in the face with your dick, and she was like, babe, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, babe? And it was like, do you not remember that?
You might have to be more specific. I don't know.
Okay, and there was stuff that like putting like fingers in mouths, like opening up her mouth from
hooking
behind. Yeah. And like just moves that I like pointed at, and I was like, oh, that's been done to me. Oh my God. Because I don't watch a lot of porn. Like,
really?
I'm like super analytical. And I think like you've said this in podcasts too, like you break it down like videography wise, being like, because I noticed, I was like, yeah, he's got good angles. Like he's always like facing towards the camera. It's like sick. Yeah.
And once you know the procedure, then you can start actually like fine tuning everything.
Yeah. When was the first time you ever came across a porn?
It's about 10. Yeah. It's actually in the book. There's a short chapter about it. But
nice.
My brother had a small collection of VHSs. And, just being a little kid, I would snoop around and want to find out like what my older brother is up to. So eventually I found them, I watched them, and I was just hooked.
Nice. And you only have the one older brother?
Only one.
Okay.
Yeah. But after then, like when I matured, like I'm 10 in 2000.
Right.
So AOL is a thing.
Yes.
The internet is a thing. So I automatically be on AIM and AOL chat rooms, and I was already invested.
Yeah.
Before I even knew what it was and what sex really was, I knew that people were doing something. And it made me feel a certain way, and I wanted more of that.
Yeah. Did you jack off, or were you just watching most of the time?
Yeah, I mean,
Like being like, this is great.
yeah, I'd watch and I guess I would like quote unquote jack off, but
nothing would happen.
yeah, I was on the precipice of puberty. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like anything was really happening, but I saw what was on screen and I was emulating what I was watching.
Mm-hmm. Was porn involved in the first time you came?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I would have nights where I would just be like, all right, mom and dad, I'm going to bed. It's like 7 o'clock. And I'd be like, don't come in my room. I'm going to be asleep.
I'm a
and
weird
I would just
kid.
be there like tugging at night. And I would think that a weird sound was being emitted that like adults could hear, because growing up, I was a Catholic boy. So
Yes.
masturbation was bad.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't know why,
Yeah.
but I thought that you could hear it from afar.
Is there like a specific, because like I've been to church many times, but I've never been to like a Christian or Catholic like class. Like, when do they teach you that masturbating is bad? Is there like a verse that's like, thou shalt not tug thine dick?
Yeah. I mean, I've never actually read the Bible, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I was never interested in it. I only went to CCD, Sunday school, because I was forced to.
Yeah.
But I never read the books. I never did the homework. I would just sit there and, nod off and color and, sketch and all this stuff. And I don't know exactly when it was brought up, but we were always told that premarital sex was bad.
Right.
That must have been a lesson. I forget, but it was just ingrained into my mind that premarital sex, bad. Masturbation, bad. Anything that occurs between a man and a woman before you're married is bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like a weird shame about doing it.
And you were making the noise.
I thought there was a noise being made that my parents could hear, so I would be very like quiet and precious about it, but nothing would ever really, come of it.
Yeah.
It was just-
Very nice.
Yeah.
We love puns on this podcast.
But it was just something I was into. Like
Yeah.
It happened at such a young age where my mind was a sponge and I was just absorbed with,
Were you the type of kid
porn.
that would draw sex?
No.
I
I'm a
did.
terrible illustrator. I could never. I mean,
Okay.
I'll tell you what I did one time.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I wanted to have a sex dream.
Okay.
I wanted to know what sex was like and I wanted to feel it, but I knew I was too young. So I wrote like on a little notepad,
Like how young?
I'm going to have sex.
Okay.
And I put it in my boxers.
Okay.
And I slept hoping that I would have like a dream. It's crazy.
That's amazing. You guys, if you can't hear, Charlotte's here, obviously. We used to do things in our house. Do you remember the thing when you like whisper to somebody when they were asleep and you try to brainwash them?
Try to have them like answer what you're saying.
No, like you'd be like what? Oh yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Is there was a Dexter's Lab episode where he was like listening to a tape. But that was to memorize for school, omelette du fromage. But there was a thing that our oldest brother used to do. He'd like come over and be like, oh, if you're sleeping, like you can brainwash somebody. So I'd walk over to Charlotte sometimes. I'd be like, give me your Pokemon cards in the morning.
Did it ever work?
I could coerce her in different ways. But yeah, that's amazing. That's
It's the last resort.
putting an,
And I
what's
also
it called?
went to bed.
An affirmation or like a self-fulfilling prophecy in
kind
your
of, yeah,
pants.
that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I had another night where I put a pair of rollerblades on my feet because I wanted to learn how to rollerblade. And I just got a new pair, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll have a dream where I'm an expert rollerblader.
Interesting. Do you know what's...
And it didn't happen.
You're smart, though, and we already know this, but I've looked into dream theory a little bit because I freak out at people in my real life for things they do in my dream life, which is not cool. Don't do that
Been
to
there
people.
before.
Yeah. But usually if you're dreaming something, it's supposed to get you like better acquainted with the thing so that when it actually happens in real life, you'll be more okay.
Wow, okay.
So
Yeah.
like if you have a dream that like your spouse is cheating on you, like
and then if it happens, now you can...
it's not that like
deal with it better?
that's necessarily going to happen, but it's like there's an issue in your relationship and your dream is preparing you to not necessarily be like so entwined with that person anymore.
It's more muscle memory.
Yeah, you're better prepared.
That theory has been proposed. You don't know if it's factual or not, but basically like if you have a dream where you're kidnapped or something, what happens to your body. Obviously, in the dream, you're terrified. But biologically, if that happened to you in real life, it identifies it as something having happened before because it has felt so real. So it's almost acclimated in a way that prepares you.
Interesting.
So that it does happen. So if you do have a sex dream, you almost feel more prepared, like you've done it before.
Definitely.
That's what I wanted.
Great. Good job, Charlotte.
There we go. Now we've solved that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of sleep and dreams, this is a very easy segue into my favorite thing to talk about, my Helix Sleep mattress. Charlotte's got one. I've got one. Hopefully Logan's going to get one too soon because these mattresses are the best. They are made for you. So you go online, you take a 2-minute sleep quiz. It's like a BuzzFeed quiz, only with a fucking benefit at the end. It's like, oh, am I a Hufflepuff and I have a new mattress? That's amazing. So yeah, you take that sleep quiz. It matches you to a mattress based on your sleep preferences and your body type, like your height and weight and stuff. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, they make mattresses that split down the middle, match them to their body types as well. I know I say this, but imagine having a bra fitting or a tailor. Just imagine something fitting exactly to you. That's what this mattress will be. And you spend so much time, or at least I do. Most people, I guess, are spending 6 hours on their mattress. I'm spending all day on my fucking mattress. And I love it. I know a lot of you are watching porn from your mattress. A lot of you are watching Housewives. A lot of you are watching Housewives as porn from your mattress. A lot of you are eating in your bed, working in your bed. You spend a lot of time in your bed and you want it to be comfortable and amazing. And I was always getting mattresses that were way too cushy for me because I was like, this is what I like. Yeah, but guess what? Helix knows better than you. And so you put in what you think you like, what you think you want, and it completely turns your world around. I have seriously had my life changed by this mattress. I fell asleep in it the other day at Charlotte's. We were watching Love Island because that's back on TV now. And I fell asleep during an episode of my favorite show. That's how good these mattresses are. It's like you're going to have to delay your amazing TV watching because you'll just be having too good of sleeps. So if you want to join in on the sleep fest that is Helix mattress and that we fucking love, go to helixsleep.com/howcome. They're offering up to $125 off of any mattress order right now. Yes, that is right. $125 off of any mattress order. Think about that. That is so many dollars. And also think about this. You know how I was saying, please support the podcast? Helix is offering us a little percentage of your mattress orders because they love the podcast. We love the mattress. Everyone, let's all just support each other. And nothing is more supportive than your Helix Sleep mattress in the best and most comfortable way. Again, that is helixsleep.com/howcome for up to $125 off of any mattress order. Yes.
So you don't remember your first time coming then, specifically?
No, that's not vivid. I remember my first time watching porn. I remember what I was watching, but I know I was too young to come, so I don't know when it happened. But when it did happen...
But you had been seeing it happen on screen. So
yeah.
I knew
what was going to happen.
Fuck, I have a disease.
No, well, I thought that I had a limited supply. And I put it together that, that's why masturbation is bad because I only have so much
babies.
of it. Exactly. And that's why we're not supposed to jerk off because if you do it too much, you run out and now you can't have kids.
Untrue.
Well, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Untrue. Yeah. I used to draw sex all the time. I was obsessed with banging, but making love. I would draw people passionately. Fuck, did you know about this?
I remember seeing it in your diary. Lots of elbows around necks.
Yes, so many elbows around necks.
Very smooth bodies.
Yeah. Oh my god, sinewy people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, really weird. But then when Superbad came out,
all the dicks.
I was like, I get it. That guy drew dicks, yeah. I drew banging.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So you're not alone.
I don't think I'm alone at all. And I don't think you're alone in that fact that you said a lot of guys want to try porn at one time or another. Were you thinking about this could potentially ruin any office job I might have? I used to think about that with posting stuff. Now that I'm a comic, I'm I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was conscious of it, but it didn't really bother me. Because I wanted to be a filmmaker. And I didn't see why porn would have to eliminate that as a profession. I didn't see the correlation. I also wanted to be a teacher. I knew that would be a problem.
That would be a problem.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was just
More in the way that your students would constantly be like, can we fuck? And you'd be like, no.
no. I'd last a day probably, and then
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Listen, you got to go. You're a distraction. This is no good." I don't know. I just always, I mean, of course, growing up as a little kid, I thought sex was bad because that's what I was taught. But then as I matured, I gained a really positive mentality towards sex.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that going into porn or sex work should detract from any other profession.
Yeah.
So I never really, though I was aware that other people would view me differently, I never really thought that it would be a conflict.
Yeah.
And I never really understood why it was a conflict. So I just went into it head first, you know?
Definitely. I always think it's interesting too, the people who like I've known that did porn and now are like, I'm doing something else. Like my friend Aaliyah that I mentioned, she's like in school for being like a forensic psychologist or some shit. Like she's going to be a detective. Like a lot of people
Yeah,
are very
serious.
smart. Like Danny Wilde, who's now Chris Zeischig. Yeah. He wrote a book just like you. Like
He wrote 4.
he wrote 4 books? Oh shit. I didn't read all of Charlotte's research. I'm a bad host. But that interview is available on Patreon. Anyway, but yeah, it's interesting, especially now. I think we're kind of in another wave of sexual revolution where it's
Right.
become a lot more acceptable and more commonplace, which it should be.
When you watch it, though, you still want to learn from it, right?
Yeah.
Or you still want to
definitely.
at least be like, oh, I can see why people would watch this.
Or, oh my God, like literally the whole time I was like, oh my God, I know these moves. Like,
Yeah, there you go, that
Like,
too.
this is where somebody learned it. Like, that's crazy. Most of your relationships have been within the industry, right?
yeah.
People
essentially
doing
all of
sex
them since I
work as
got
well.
into porn.
Yeah.
It's just been easier,
Yeah, okay.
you know, because we both have the same job. So
Yeah.
the feelings of jealousy aren't there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, oh, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
thank
Oh,
you.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and we all know everyone we're working with, so it's just
That's what it
understood,
seems like.
you know?
I think I was saying it seems like high school, like just the way the comedian world is. Like everybody
Yeah.
kind of knows each other, like knows about each other.
Sure,
Has worked together
sure.
enough. Like you'd see at a holiday party and be like, hey.
Yeah, everyone has gossip on
Everyone has
else,
gossip,
and
yeah.
People hate each other for weird reasons, but yeah, it's like high school, absolutely.
Yeah.
And in my line of work, you know, most people are young. Like the women are generally 18 to 25.
Yeah.
So some of them are fresh out of high school, and that mentality hasn't shifted yet. They're still
Right, right,
thinking
right,
that
right.
everything is you know, dire. Mm-hmm. Or like, oh, so and so's talking about me. This is the end of the world. Oh, this is my bestie. Now I hate her.
Yeah.
And things like that. And it's like, that's not.
Well, I feel
It's
like
not the
that's
way
the
it should
beginning
be.
of every industry. You think like everything can be like make or break.
Right.
Like you tell a story about your first gangbang scene
Mm-hmm.
and how you thought it was going. Would you tell the story for our listeners?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is also in the book. One of my favorite
You
chapters.
guys
yeah.
read the book.
Yeah.
We'll post the link below.
Well, first gangbang, last gangbang, because I've only had, I mean, not that I had to do it, but it was offered to me and
Yeah.
it was presented as a good opportunity
Yeah.
to, you know, just expand my horizons, if you will. So I took the job, but I show up and every other guy there is like a 10-year veteran. Funny story, Danny Wilde was in it.
No way.
He was in it. Yeah, he was in the same gangbang.
That's great.
So he was like a 6-year veteran at the time.
Okay.
But everyone is a heavy hitter. They're all tall. They're big. You know, I'm 5'6", 135 pounds. I'm 21 years old. I've done maybe 30 scenes. So I don't really know what the procedure is for this. This is my first group scene.
Yeah.
And I'm just nervous. I'm very, very nervous. I feel very inferior. And the scene begins, and, you know, I pop a pill. It's at this point, I had failed a scene before this.
Right.
So it was brought to my attention that every male performer has to have Viagra or something of the like, you know, in their
Brought
utility
to your
belt.
attention by whom?
My agent.
Okay.
And you know, the rest of the industry.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just one of those things where if you need it, you rather have it and not need it than need it and
Yeah.
be without it.
Yeah.
So I took a whole pill thinking like, oh, I can just coast by, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Nothing happens. And and the scene starts going. It's a feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
You know, all the guys know exactly what they're doing. The girl was a true professional, great performer. She's
And a gangbang is basically guys fuck a girl one at a time, or
Well, it's like
Like, what
one,
are the guys
one
who are
girl,
doing-
6 guys,
Yeah.
and you kind of just find a place. So she was doing DP. She was doing, I think she did triple penetration at one point. So
Does
there'll
that
be-
mean 3 in 1 hole? Or?
No, it'd be like two in one hole, one
one
in another hole.
Yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, there's 2 dicks in her mouth, and 2 hands and feet.
God.
So it's really just like, it's a feeding
Talent.
frenzy, and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to stand. I didn't have a place. I felt just useless.
Yeah.
So I took another pill. I'm on 2 Viagra at this
no.
point, and my head is like a balloon. I'm like beet red, veins are throbbing. I'm standing there wide-eyed, just jerking off like an idiot, unsure of what to do, just hoping that it'll end and I can go home. And, eventually we get enough time, and the director says, all right, now it's time to come. So one by one, everyone has to go and do their thing. And I just like close my eyes, and I'm furiously just jerking as hard as I can. And eventually I'm able to work up something,
Oh, God, thank God.
do my business, and
Yeah.
then cut, get paid, and I just like run out of there.
Yeah.
Because it was just embarrassing. You feel like, why the fuck am I here?
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is-
and you're performing in front of people that you respect. Like you're the new person.
Exactly.
I've literally had shows like that in the beginning of stand up where like I've bombed so hard that I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I can't say goodbye to anybody. I'm going to drive for like 14 miles now. I don't even know where I'm going.
Yeah. That's a bomb.
Yeah.
And everyone will bomb at one point or another.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. It can happen. If your mind is in a bad place, your body's not going to work. Yeah, I mean, Viagra is not it is not like, it's not a guarantee.
Are Viagra and Cialis different?
Yeah, Cialis is a slow release.
Okay.
So it's usually supposed to last like 72 hours. Whereas Viagra is more or less immediate, and it lasts like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And not like you have a hard-on for 4 hours or 72 hours. It's just in your system.
For that long.
Yeah, and all it really does is just like, I think it just expands your blood vessels to help blood go to where you want it to go. So if you're scared and nervous and confused, it rushes to your head, to your heart. You feel like your pulse in your hand and everything, but you have to relax, and you have to let your body naturally do what it needs to do, and it just helps facilitate. That's all it does.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Danny was telling us how he took so much Cialis and like
Caverject. Yeah.
and had a
That's
raging
scary stuff.
priapism boner, and then was like, you know what, I'm going to quit porn.
Yeah, you got to go to the hospital and get it drained.
It's horrible.
I've never been there. I've never used it, but I see it used all the time.
Yeah.
And I see, we were talking about this earlier, like the guys who often use it are regarded as top tier male talent.
Right.
Because they can have their dick hard no matter what, under any circumstances. And it's like, oh, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you can have a hard dick when it's artificially injected.
I'm sacrificing my body for the craft.
Right.
But you
right.
really are. Like,
Sure,
it
you
could
can only do it for so long.
Get very bad.
He was also talking about an actual, like, what were you?
Oh,
pump?
yeah.
You know what it is.
Oh,
Yeah, I wish I had a picture to show you, but there's like a...
we'll post a picture on the Instagram.
Yeah, there's like a plastic mold, I guess you can say. Maybe not a mold, but
A
it's like
dick extension?
it's like a hollow tube.
Yeah.
And you can have it surgically implanted into your shaft, and then there's a little reservoir that you can pump up.
What?
Yeah. And people have this. Once again, top tier male talent. And it's like,
So wait,
great.
wait.
Not
So it's like a
real.
surgically implanted second penis?
Pretty much, yeah. Underneath
Interesting.
the skin, and I assume everything works normal, like you can pee and stuff. But
Yeah, like you have to.
I
push
don't
a button to
don't
make it
know
go
how
down?
it works, but I know when you need to get hard, you physically pump it up. There's like a pump either in your balls or in your.
But
your,
then is like the
pelvis.
sensation there? Like I guess during porn you're always acting, right? Like you're.
I mean, hopefully not. The idea is that we can lose ourselves in the moment.
Yeah.
And for the next 35, 40 minutes, it's just whatever happens, and we wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
Yeah. Do you ever fall in love? Like by accident? Because we were talking to Helen Fisher, and she was just reinforcing what I already thought about oxytocin and having sex and all these other chemicals emitting while you're having sex. Like for me, if I'm a single person, it is dangerous for me to fuck somebody that I don't like because I'll fall in love by accident. Do you ever experience that, or have you ever had like a girl kind of think, oh, now we're a thing?
Not so much the latter, but you know, because we know we're there for a job. But yeah, I especially in my earlier days, I've had plenty of experiences where I'm like, whoa, this is everything I've ever wanted. She can read my body like no other.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And I confuse that with natural chemistry. And I forget that, no, this is a scene. We are acting. We're performing. You know, that's for the camera. And whatever happens before the cameras start rolling, that's just preparation.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you want to get to know each other a little bit before it's like, okay,
I was going to say,
now it's time.
How much do you get to know each other? Like, have you ever gone and like not speaking at all?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I've had days where me and my partner just couldn't have a conversation. We were disagreeing on everything. And that leading into sex is not good.
Your partner for the scene?
For the scene, yeah.
Okay,
for the scene.
okay.
Whereas we just like, personally, our personalities just were not compatible.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, great. Now we have to have sex and pretend like we really like each other.
Sometimes it can work out great.
Sure, sometimes
Jennifer
it can.
Grey and Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing hated each other.
They're professionals.
Did you know?
I
Exactly.
didn't know that,
Professionals.
no.
And yeah, so we watched the one girlfriend and boyfriend. She was like, she liked it, but she was definitely the sub.
Yeah, you'll have to show me this scene.
I'll
Because
show it to you.
Of course, a lot of those scenes
Also, there wasn't
where
a ton
our-
of your face, so I'm not guaranteed, but I think it was you.
Oh, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
But, you know, a lot where it's like, oh, it looks extra rough. You know, that's all agreed upon. At least it should be.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
And, we're just playing characters.
Yeah. That should always be agreed upon, though, between two people. Like, you can have different levels of sex, and this is what I was about to say, is that, like, there was another one where it was, like, a girlfriend-boyfriend scene, and it was just totally different guy. This guy loves his girlfriend. Like, the other guy could have loved his girlfriend, too, but they were just being more rough. This one was just, like, everything's about you, and she was great at sex, and, like, it was great. And Tim was like, what kind of sex do you have? And I was like, both. Like, you can have...
Yeah.
Both. That's kind of the point, is like...
Yeah, it's fluid.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on how you feel in that moment with that partner. You don't have to have the same sex every single time, and why would you want to?
Have you ever gotten crazy fan requests for specific scenes that they want you to act out?
The fans aren't writing the scenes.
No, definitely. But, like, I feel like fans always write kind of fan fiction. They're like, hey, it would be really cool. Like,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, I get weird DMs all the time, and they say, like, oh, I want you to work with so-and-so and do this and that. I can't think of any specifics, but usually I delete all them right away.
Somebody wrote to me and David Chang. Do you know who that is? He's like
Yes,
he's a
yes.
restaurateur. He's like very famous. And they wrote to us both on DM and they were like, I'm a huge fan of both of you. Please work together. It's insane
So random.
to me. David Chang, if you listen to this
there you go, there
podcast,
you
I'd
go.
love to work. Yeah, I mean, I think food is very sensual.
It can be, yeah.
Right?
It's an
Have you ever
aphrodisiac
done
for sure.
food scenes?
Not
No?
really.
No.
No, I mean, I did a few scenes with like chocolates and fruit, but that was just annoying.
Have you ever seen cake farts?
Yeah, I've seen cake farts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That was a huge
That was
video in high
huge.
school for me.
Yeah.
My friends and I would watch that a million times.
Yeah. There was, so
Yeah. That video is hysterical.
hilarious. That's the kind of shit I used to watch. I'd get like, people would be like, oh, look, this is porn. Watch this.
I don't watch any of the Two Girls One Cup or anything.
I never
I've
watched Two Girls,
seen
One
that.
Cup.
I have seen, I think it's like two kids in a playground or a
What?
sandbox.
No.
It's not two kids. That's just the title of it.
Okay.
It's disgusting.
Oh,
If you're curious, I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but
that's great. You guys Google it.
yeah, someone listening has seen it and they know what
they're
I'm
gonna be
talking
like,
about.
oh my God.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. But you were saying you're like, most guys would want to be porn stars.
I know that at least one point in, of course, I'm generalizing,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
one
yeah.
point in every man's life, they think, what if?
Yeah.
You know, oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
God, if I could just live your life for a day.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
And I get a lot of DMs and messages like that. And it's like, sure, buddy, go for it if you think you can do it.
Yeah.
Chances are you won't be able to. And I get people saying like, I'll work for free. Please, I'll do any job you have. You know, I love the industry and just any opportunity. I'll fuck anything. Please, just anyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are you doing, man? Like, desperation's not going to get you
Yeah.
in the door. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can't help you either. Like, there's nothing I can do.
Right.
What is like the biggest realization when those guys do come in, if they do, that makes it so difficult that they didn't realize?
That they can't get hard with other guys standing around demanding, you know, a woman who, she's not there for you.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, she's going to have sex with you, and let's hope that she's attracted to you in some way, but it's not her job to, you know, to make you feel like you're a king. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to show up,
you have
be
to
professional.
come in with that confidence, almost. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's the boss. She's in charge.
The first time you ever were on set, did you have any trouble, or?
No, the first time I did not.
It was
but
sick?
it was an easy scene, so it was really like,
We discuss, or
you know, it was another boyfriend girlfriend scene. But in this instance, there was only one other person on set.
okay.
And they gave me the camera, a little Sony Handycam.
Oh.
So it was like just shooting like a little sex tape with my girlfriend.
POV.
And I had done that before.
Oh, really?
So yeah, and I was already a filmmaker, so it wasn't like, oh, what do I do with this camera? I push record?
Yeah.
Like, I knew what I was looking for. I knew what I was capturing, and it was just really
That's kind
easy.
of cool too, though, because it takes your head out of, oh, I need to get a boner, and you're just like, I need to get this shot.
Yeah, sure. And thankfully, my co-star was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is everything I had dreamed of.
Yeah.
It was really like a perfect fantasy.
Cool.
So yeah, the first one was no problem, and then that gave me a boost of confidence. And then the next few were also great. And then the 10th one is where all no.
Oh.
The 10th one was just a regular boy girl, but I was super cocky because up until this point I was like, yeah, you know, I'm the next. You know, saying I'm the next James Dean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Logan Pierce. Oh, you know, it's like, oh, you know, he's a superstar, and I was like, yeah, I'm fresh, I'm hot, I'm killing it. And then, of course, that is what ultimately just destroyed me.
Yeah.
And I was very cocky, and the director knew I was being cocky, and he's like, oh yeah, you think you can do all this in one take and no problem? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, of course, you know who I am. And the girl was not having it. She was not excited to be there with me.
Yeah.
Because I was brand new. I was, you know, I'm a small guy, and I don't know. I sometimes feel like if I show up and the woman, she wants like a big man sometimes. And it's like, I might look like a little kid next to her. Especially then, 21, clean shaven, you know, short hair. I looked like a boy.
Yeah.
And I don't think that she was into that. I think she wanted someone more masculine.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And she just wasn't happy with me. And that killed me.
Yeah, nobody wants to fuck someone who acts like they're the shit and that.
Yeah, of course. And I was just being a fucking asshole. And, you know, it came to, when it came to actually start having sex, I just couldn't get hard. And I was like in the bathroom, you know, calling out like, I'll be out in a minute, just give me a minute, please. And then they canceled the scene. And I was like heartbroken. I thought, no, this is the end of it. I just embarrassed myself. I blew it. What am I going to do? But
then you got back up again.
And got back again, yeah. And
So
this
to
is where, this is where I had the conversation with my agent. And he's like, kid, this is what happened.
About the pills?
Yeah. And he's like, you know, sometimes days are like this. You need an insurance policy. So
how is it easy to get Viagra as a young man? Like, I can't
in
imagine
porn.
that, but it's not given to you legally, though.
Yeah.
Do you
I
get
mean,
like
I have
prescription?
a doctor's prescription. Sure. Sure. But,
okay.
you know.
Do you ever give up sex in your regular life in order to bang on set?
All the time.
Really?
All the time, yeah. And that's a sacrifice I have to make. Because
there's only so much cum that's produced.
yeah, of course. Yeah. There's only so much. But it's also like over the years, you know, my skin has gotten sensitive. So if I have sex too much, I'll just have like weird friction burns or like weird skin issues. So it's like, okay, you know, I have a girlfriend now, and I made it very clear from the beginning, and she completely understands because she's also a performer. Like, you know, if we want to perform our best when we have to, you know, our job, we can't have sex every day.
Yeah.
And that's just...
But that's so nice to have an understanding between the two of you, and it's not like sometimes if somebody even says they're not in the mood, like you'll just be like, oh, it's because of me. Like, no, like, it's your fucking job, and like you're both being responsible, and you can still kiss.
Of course,
you can still hold hands.
Exactly, and it just reinforces the other aspects of a relationship. You have to remind one another that you are desirable. I'm with you because I am head over heels infatuated with you. You bring me so much joy.
Yes,
and sex is just one small aspect of our relationship. It's not everything.
Totally. It blew my mind when a guy like who I'd been having sex with for a while would then decide to have me as his girlfriend, because you know there was always that like, oh, why buy the cow when you can have the milk for free? It's like sometimes the sex is just an added bonus, and then they get to know your personality. Wild.
Exactly.
They like your personality. What a strange thing in a relationship.
I mean, being in porn, it's made personality so much more important to me than sex.
You get to really know the essence of a person because a body just becomes a body.
Definitely. I mean, as a single guy, when I am single, I'm less interested in going out and hooking up. You know, I've only had sex with maybe 4 or 5 people outside of the industry since getting into porn.
What do you call them?
Civilians.
Yeah.
You've heard that before?
Yeah, because that's what comics call them.
It's the same
that
thing.
Crazy?
Yeah.
And I always
I'm
like, oh my God, we're so obnoxious.
They don't understand.
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Yeah. No, and there was...
Why though? What do they not get, civilians, in terms of porn?
The play-by-play, they don't understand that we're not fucking everyone and everything that moves, that we're people. You know, I mean,
they understand your schedule more too. Like simple things like that, like planning stuff, and
or like, oh, did you have fun on set today? Really?
Yeah.
What?
Really?
Did you kiss her?
Did you come?
Exactly.
I fucking came. It was my job. Yeah.
Like, you don't want to put on a good performance. What about me?
Do you hardly masturbate then?
No, I got a problem with jerking off.
Too much?
Not too much, but like if I have an opportunity to jerk off, I'll stretch it out. You know, I cannot just jerk off to come and move on. I need it to be like earned.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it'll take a while.
That's great. I like that though. Like I think a slow jerk, it's like very tantric kind of. It's like enjoy the process instead of like the finish line.
Exactly. It's the journey.
Yeah.
But hours will go by and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
No way.
This whole day has been wasted.
Well, speaking of jacking off problems, I've got a major jacking off problem, and it's not a problem, it's a solution. I love jacking off. I do it when I am tired. I do it when I am hungry. I do it when I am stressed, and I do it sometimes when I'm horny. But a lot of the times, what am I reaching for? It's a toy from Sweet Vibrations. It's many toys from Sweet Vibrations. My first internal orgasm, happened with the Perfect Match. It is the best internal and external stimulator. Ooh, it makes me feel like a waterfall and like a rainbow is bursting from my innards. I love it so much. I also love the Girl's Best Friend that I have recommended to way too many people and given away to too many as well. But I love it because I feel like I'm sharing the love, and I love the text the next morning, the inevitable text. Remy, I wet my bed. Oh my God, I squirted for the first time. Legit, every time I give someone a Girl's Best Friend, they squirt for the first time. Perfect Match are making people have internals all over the place. From my clitoral vibrating, they've got the Pixie and they've got the Tulips. They are both amazing. All of their toys are amazing. They are waterproof. They have a forever warranty. Have you ever heard of that? A forever warranty on a toy? If I could get a forever warranty on an iPhone, like iPhones would be out of business. I don't know how they do it, but these toys are affordable as fuck. They are all under $100. You guys should head over to sweetvibes.toys right now and get even more off. They're offering 15% off any toys, any order for you guys, our How Come listeners. Sweetvibes.toys. Use our promo code How Come for 15% off of an already really inexpensive toy. It just blows my mind. A few years ago, I thought toys were like only $300 if they were good. These are high quality toys for a fraction of the price. And let's make that price even lower. Again, go to sweetvibes.toys, use our promo code HowCome, 15% off. If you are out of the country, you can still order them, but you have to order it on Amazon, but that's fine. You just won't get the promo code, but it'll still make it to you, and you'll still have immense pleasure, and you'll love your life. I love mine. I love jacking off. Do it all day. That's what I do. It's the best. Anyway, now that I've talked about jacking off for 45 minutes, let's get back to the interview, I think. Okay, cool.
And then are you watching porn if you're jacking off?
Yeah.
And do you watch porn with your girlfriend?
Like together? Or
Yeah. Like sexually?
We've actually never done that, no.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, because it's also like you're going to like see your friends. Kind of.
Yeah, and like if I am watching porn, I'm not watching porn with people I know.
Yeah, you have to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it'd be fine, but it's like, especially if I've like we had like a tiff or something. I'm like, oh, fuck it, that dude. Or, oh man, that girl's terrible. What the hell? I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
We had a terrible day on set.
Yeah.
So.
Has there ever been any porn brought to you, like, obviously, like categories that your agent's like, oh, I think you should get into tentacle porn or something like that you were like, that's not for porn. Me.
No. Not.
Everything is
not
an acting
now.
Challenge.
I don't know.
Or some kind of challenge?
I mean, it's porn.
Yeah.
You know, like it should be fun. I don't really, and maybe this is my downfall as a performer. I don't want to be challenged on set. I wanna have fun and feel like I can openly explore things without like, oh, I need to overcome this obstacle to make myself feel superior or something.
No, it's like I'm gonna do this thing that I'm naturally good at, and people are gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, and I want to have fun. I want each day to be experimental and playful and organic, but I don't like. I mean, personally, no, I don't like doing features. I don't like doing bigger productions that put less emphasis on sex and more emphasis on, I don't know.
Storyline?
Yeah. I mean, I say that and now I'm like, oh, I should take that back because I do enjoy the acting process a lot. But for me, it's really difficult to devote myself to the acting process and then have sex.
Interesting.
You know, for me, they are not one and the same.
Oh.
So I'd rather show up and
the
act
sex is a more
and not have
in
sex.
the moment. Let's just respond to each other's body. But I guess that's acting too.
Yeah,
but different.
Yeah, sure. Because acting, I mean, while it's organic and from the heart, I still am thinking a lot. Mm-hmm. But when I move into sex, I want to stop thinking. But if I'm clouded with like, oh, but this character is like this, and he's coming from this place, and I know what she's about to do. It just confuses me, and my body like doesn't react the way that I want it to.
Yeah.
And often, sex on those days is reserved for the last thing we do. So sometimes it'll be midnight, 1, 2 a.m. And I was like, all right, sex.
Oh.
And you're like, well, I'm fucking tired. I don't want to do it right now. I want to go home.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, my body is not built for that.
Yeah.
I'm in bed by fucking 11 o'clock.
You guys, change your call times. You're being ridiculous.
Or like, just do sex
film
first.
The sex first.
Yeah, I have a lot of productions where the sex is filmed first, and I think that's fantastic. Get it out of the way so we can now do all the minutia and not worry about
pickup shots.
Yeah, or now I can devote myself to the character and the acting and not have to worry about but I gotta have sex later, so I want to still be like horny and keep myself in this right mindset. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
It is confusing. I would definitely fall in love with people by accident all the time. Your first award. How did it feel? What was it? Who did you take as your date?
To be honest, it felt. You're gonna laugh about this. It was pathetic.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I brought my parents, and I was expecting. I was expecting that they were going to announce me, and I'd go on stage and be like, "Thank you, everybody. Keep rocking and rolling."
Yeah.
Instead, after 30 minutes, it turned into a slideshow of like, and this award, boom, and that award, boom, and then it was like best male newcomer, boom, Logan Pierce, the most unflattering photo of me you could have ever found, and I was like, "Oh, I won. All right,
okay." Yeah, you're like, look at the screen, look at it, and I'm gone.
Yeah, I didn't pick up the award until like a year and a half later.
That's hilarious.
And it's whatever. I mean, that's a bullshit award. It's a perfect attendance award.
That's so cool that your parents came though. But
Yeah,
also, like we were talking about this earlier. Like we were like, oh, what points should we hit? And like we're like, oh, parents' acceptance. And I'm like, I'm so fucking tired of asking people who work in the sex industry or any fucking entertainment industry. People ask me like about this podcast. Oh, what do your parents think about it? Well, first of all, shut up, you fucking asshole. Like, because then that what you're saying is, if I were a parent, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly. That's what the underlying current is. Because nobody's like, oh, you're a teacher? Well, how do your parents feel? Unless like there's some fucking snob. How do your parents feel about that? Yeah. I work in the public school system.
Yeah, you're already belittling someone. When you do that.
Yeah. But it sounds like your parents are great.
Yeah, they've always been cool with me.
And they should be, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, and they were liberal too. Like my mom would bring home condoms because she's a nurse, and she knew.
Our mom's a nurse too.
Yeah, she knew that I was going to be having sex at an early age, so they weren't ignorant to it.
Did she tell you about like pleasure during sex? Because I think that's what's missing in a lot of like.
Yeah, none of that.
It's not like, and then you're going to come, and the girl should also come.
No, we never even had a conversation about that. Really, it was just like, listen, you're going to be having sex. You probably already know what that is. Take these condoms. You're going to need them.
Yeah.
And that was really it. Like, don't, she's an AIDS specialist, so she would talk to me about AIDS and how horrible
I read
that
also
is.
that you got tested like bi-weekly
yeah, I still am to this day, every 14 days.
Yeah.
But I don't know, they were accepting. So
yeah,
that's the best I can hope for. Like, maybe they don't understand, maybe they'd rather I'm doing something else, but they love me. I love them. So.
And probably a lot of other like, I watch a lot of reality shows. And
oh, you do?
I do. And a lot of these guys fuck so many more women probably than you do, unsafely, and aren't respectful. Like if you're just afraid of the fact that it's on tape, that's your fault. Don't watch it.
Yeah, that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand. They think that because I'm in porn, I'm having sex with everything that moves, and I'm a walking STD. But the fact is, I'm tested more than any civilian would ever be tested.
Yeah.
And I'm only having sex with tested individuals.
Yeah.
I'm not having sex with anyone outside the industry.
Yeah. That's why I think prostitution should be legal too, because then those
then
people
be regulated.
Get texted and regulated, and they pay their taxes, and nobody's at the mercy of a pimp. It's sick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But what can you do?
What can you do? Okay, so were you having a lot of sex before porn?
I was like the first kid in my class to lose his virginity. I was 14 when I officially had sex.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you were getting blowjays before?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was the first kid to ever get head, and it was like, whoa, guys, did you hear?
Yeah.
And then people would come up with rumors like already, like, I heard you have a little dick. Like, what? Get the hell out of here. What are you talking about? And it's like bullshit. But yeah, I was, I saw porn. I was 10 years old. I was obsessed with it. I wanted sex. I craved it, and it just, came my way. And then I was 14. I skipped school, also in the book. Skipped school, met a girl on MySpace. And
very nice.
Yeah, and then she came over and we did it. And it was like a porn almost. And I was like, holy fuck, once again, this is everything I had ever wanted.
Yeah, and you
right
probably
here.
like map the scene in your head too of like what it was going to look like, and then you think about it afterwards.
Sure.
And
it was better than what I could have imagined.
Yeah.
Because she was like just as sexually positive as I was, and she
Was she a virgin?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she was, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say promiscuous, but
more experience.
Yeah, experience. Yeah. We'll say that. And she knew exactly what to do, and I was like, yes, everything. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Anything you want, please.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. But yeah, I was having a lot of healthy sex from then on until porn.
And were you always like? Do you think that? You might not even remember, but do you think that she came?
I'll have to ask her.
You still keep in contact?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I hope. Probably not. What am I talking about? No. I came in 60 seconds. There's no way she orgasmed.
No.
It was like,
okay.
I'm in. Oh, fuck. And then that was it.
Did you ever have sex again after that?
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay. And then did you try and make her come those times?
Once
like
again,
when
I was young,
apparent
so
to you that women could have orgasms?
My first long-term relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then it wasn't just a one night thing. It wasn't like, oh, great, let's do this and we're done in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it was like, oh, we're going to continue doing this. So now we have to
work on stuff together.
Yeah, make it special each time, experiment. And then I realized, oh, yeah, this isn't about me.
Was there like a moment that she was like, hey, we've had sex a few times. We're together. I'd love for you to make me come this time.
I don't think
or it was just a more organic
up.
Kind of like we got to know each other, and then one day it was like, bah.
God, I mean, I want to say that it was a mutual orgasm every time, but I don't know. And
it's tough.
I'll have to really think on that. I can't think right now of any
Most
conversation we had about that.
Yeah.
But I want to think. I mean, she was kinkier than I was.
Yeah.
So I was like, God damn, yeah, once again, anything you want to do, let's do it. I'm all on board.
Well, I think that's like the point, or being good at sex is asking the person what they want and then doing that to the best of your ability and comfort. Yeah.
Entertaining it.
Yeah. Do you find yourself performative when you're like alone with people? Like people that you're...
Like when I have private sex?
Private sex, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I some might look at it as like, oh, porn has affected the way I have sex, but I was having sex like that since the first time.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be theatrical.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be weird.
Yeah.
And because all of my partners are in the industry and my girlfriend's in the industry, that's just kind of what we do, and we both enjoy the performance aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it makes it more fun too.
Sure,
you can kind of. It's not weird if you're like, "What do you want to role play tonight?"
Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah.
No, we're not really role playing.
Oh, no?
No, but just like
more arching of the back,
like extreme sex. Yeah.
Okay. More arching of the back.
Yeah,
that's extreme
there you
sex.
Go. That's
to me.
very extreme. But like, fish hooking, choking, slapping, spitting.
Oh my God. I literally, the first time it happened to me, and it was with somebody that I really liked anyway. And like, I was like, I'm going to let this happen because you clearly, but I was like, what the fuck? And then like, didn't realize until today, it's a porn move.
Yeah, it is. And it is kind of strange to do it.
Char, do you know what that is?
Yeah, but I'm thinking all porn comes from
real
some
life
aspect
too.
Of real life.
Yeah.
It's informed by what people like.
But more men.
But
more men in the
like,
beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. One thing I was hoping you would talk about a little more. We were talking about female-oriented porn.
Oh yeah,
basically, and how you started with that, and what you have watched, which is technically female. Like, what is it for women?
Yeah.
Runs the gamut of maybe romance is in there, but it's also
women like kinky shit too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you were saying your first time the girl was kinkier than you.
Oh yeah.
So I just feel like there's this false dichotomy almost between porn for women and for men, almost like they overlap. Do they not? More than people think?
Big time. Nowadays, it's almost 50-50 with women directors and male directors. But if you watch porn that's directed by women and it's hardcore, often it is rougher and crazier than any male directed porno.
Yeah, women be crazy. You ever see Snapped?
Yeah.
We kill people.
like stuff that Joanna Angel is doing.
Yeah.
Like, her stuff is fantastic.
I've never seen.
Yeah, Burning Angel, you should check it out.
Are there other people that my listeners should check out besides you? Also,
yeah. Small Hands.
What's that?
That's his name.
Oh,
Joanna Angel's husband. He's the man.
Cool. Have you ever worked in any gay or trans capacity?
No. And there's like, there's rampant homophobia on the straight side of porn.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Danny talked about this because he started. I don't know if he started doing gay or whatnot, but he was a bottom for kink. But still, anything like that, all of a sudden now you kind of have like a red flag over you, and
you didn't want to risk it.
Well, that, and also I'm not interested in sex with men.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's just something. I mean, I get asked all the time, like, "Oh, will you do gay porn? Will you do it? You get more money." I'm like,
that's what I've heard is that there's more money in gay porn.
I didn't do this for the money.
You like sex with women.
Yeah.
And
fair
play.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And yeah, it will, unfortunately, my career would take on a new trajectory, even if I did it just once.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you do it full time or one time.
Yeah.
Somehow you're affected by it, and because there's a lot of old heads who are still controlling the straight side of the industry, you know, you're just a victim of what they say. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
what I'm
it
trying to
does.
say is this: it needs to change,
Yeah, definitely.
and it will change.
Are you ever making your own?
Yeah, time to time.
Yeah.
I would like to get more into the directing side because
Yeah.
there's more longevity there. You can only
Definitely.
perform for so long.
Right.
If I hit the 10-year mark, then I'm like, I need to change. I need to do something different because
Yeah.
you know, my body is only getting older. Mm-hmm. So
And you're
But-
coming up on 7 years now.
7 years in January 17th.
Did you write when did you write the book? 2015?
It was published in 2017.
17. Okay, so fairly recently.
Yeah. And I have
Yeah,
a book
so
of
there's-
poetry that's coming out. The follow-up to this will be coming out.
Oh, very nice.
Because this, I mean, I've always been a writer.
Yeah.
So this is my primary passion.
Yeah, and it's like
But-
it's not an autobiography. It's
Autobiographical fiction.
autobiographical
Dirty fiction.
Yeah. So like you guys can get off to it. You can learn
Sure.
kind of.
Yeah, you can
There's-
learn a lot of the ins and
Yeah,
outs. Like,
yeah.
nothing is a lie.
Yeah, just a little more like exaggerated truths.
Yeah, but what's funny is that the things that will appear as fiction are often truth. And the things that are like, oh, that's probably true. It seems sensible.
The whole book
That's
is a
what's been
game of two
fabricated.
truths and a lie.
Yeah, there you
You'll
go.
just have to figure out what's what.
It's like 85-15,
Nice.
I'll say.
Yeah. But you were in school for writing and stuff. Do you think you'd ever write something not about porn? Well, I guess the poetry is not all about porn, is it?
No, but it's porn influenced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I write screenplays and short stories that aren't about porn. So hopefully, you know, I sell one of them, make some money.
Yeah.
Or do something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just want to get to a point in my life where I don't have to perform to make a living.
Totally.
And it can just be fun, or maybe I won't do it at all.
Right.
But
Do you
know,
think you have to quit in order to like start a family potentially?
it's a good question. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Good
But
plan.
Maybe.
Yeah. Live in the moment.
Yeah,
This is
maybe.
2019, baby. This is exciting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just one thing, because it is how come, I always wonder like how our guests and how you learned about female pleasure and like how maybe how porn influenced that or didn't, because a lot of guys go to porn to learn.
The first
Yeah, that's true.
relationship, was that before or after you had gotten into porn?
Oh, that was before. Yeah,
Way
I was in high
before.
school. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Oh,
only
yeah,
had
yeah.
a relationship when I was 21, which is when
okay.
you got into porn.
That's true.
How dare?
No, my first long-term relationship was
You're talking
high
long-term,
school.
not sex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like 3 years in high school.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of sex.
Yeah.
And a lot of experimental sex and just new avenues that, you know, of course I had watched, but I'd never done.
Yeah. And
like anal sex and everything.
Right.
But most of it was, she wanted to do it.
Yeah. And then she experienced an orgasm with you.
I hope so.
And then you never asked?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
know.
Come on.
I was a
Shame
kid.
him. This is
I
the
wa-
whole problem.
I was
Okay,
a
I'm
kid.
sorry.
Speak
I'm
up,
sorry.
and guys
Yeah,
don't
no,
know to
That's
ask.
true. We don't say it.
This is why I'm wondering,
And it really,
how did you
Yeah.
I'll say,
eventually
it
learn?
really
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
until porn where things shifted. No, I take that back. It was college where things shifted because I was in another long-term relationship, but this was my first time being in love. And everything I wanted to do, I wanted to make her happy. I wanted to make sure that anything sexual that she was getting off.
Yeah.
And she was into it just as much, if not more than I was. But yeah, porn is really what gave me a crash course because every day I was with a different woman. And every day I had to, you know, play a little chess game and figure out, you know, what turns you on personally? You know, what do you like? And before every scene, we always have a conversation like, what are your big turn-ons? What do you really like? What do you dislike?
Yeah.
So we can have like, you know, a range of things we can do. But it's a learning curve. I mean, it's a lifelong lesson.
Totally.
You know.
Also,
I don't have
think-
anything figured out.
I think there's a lot of women that I've been like, yeah, like it's interesting if a guy doesn't ask to me or whatever. And then she's like, oh, well, I hate when they ask because then I feel pressured. So that's another thing
yeah.
that it's like, do you want me to ask from now on or would you like me to remain quiet? Still have that conversation though. I think every conversation's like a worthwhile one.
Yeah, and just listen to the body language.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say, yeah, I'm into that, and then we get to it, and all of a sudden,
It's like tense as
actually, I'm
fuck.
not.
Yeah.
But yeah, but if you're conscious of that and sensitive to it, you'll learn.
Yeah, I agree.
You'll learn.
Yeah,
and
I love that he just said, I don't have anything figured out. And he's like literally an
award-winning
porn
sexpert.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
it's
sure.
just
And your preferences are always changing.
That's
So,
the thing too, is like you should be able to like grow.
Yeah, you have to be adaptable.
Yeah. Do you ever think about how young people are watching porn now?
Yeah, because when I was watching it, I was young as
Yeah,
hell.
yeah.
I was way too young to watch porn.
Yeah.
And now I know that people are even younger are watching it because we have smartphones. It's a stroke away. It's right there. I had to search, and I was crudely searching like sex in bathtub, sex with girls, bigboobs.com.
Yeah.
And nothing would come up. But now you can just go on Twitter.
I remember I saw maybe it was Debbie Does Dallas or something.
Oh, sure.
like
That was a long running series.
And then there was a documentary about the woman who had like the most dicks in a day. And I remember being like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder if I could do that. Like, just as, like, you know how kids are like into Guinness? Like
Sure.
the Guinness Book
Oh, yeah.
of World Records? Like, you think like sex is just, it's like, am I good enough to do sex?
Yeah, I mean, people refer to us sometimes as like sex Olympians.
Yeah.
Or like sexual athletes.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
And you're always training.
Yeah, right.
You've been training for a
Trained my
long
whole life.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell our listeners where they can find you and find your book?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at whoislogan, Instagram at who_is_Logan, and you can buy Between the Sheets and The Changing of the Seasons at whoislogan.com and Amazon and Audible.
Perfect. I have to ask this question at the end of a sexual experience to be polite. Did you finish?
A few times.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time on How Come?
Okay, yeah, that was a really good episode. Before we say goodbye, though, I just want to remind you guys, please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Tell your friends, spread it around, get other people. We also need more followers on Instagram. If you know people on Instagram that would love us and want to take our polls and shit, go have them follow us. That would be great. If we get to 10,000 followers, we get to do that cool swipe up and we get to share a lot more educational articles with you. And you will love everything we do after that point. And I hope you've been loving what we've been doing up to this point. And if you don't, you can always write us. And if you do, you can always write us. Please, we love to hear from you. Again, go check out that extra episode with Danny Wilde and Tyler Nixon. They are amazing adult film stars as well, and so cute, as I said. That's a whole hour and 30 minutes of extra content. And again, usually it would be $7. We are making it $5 to get access to this one. So sign up for Patreon. If this is your first time, you're going to really like it. If you're a returning patron that maybe you changed your status, that you only wanted to give $1, but now you want to get extras again, come back. We don't mind. But again, thank you to Logan Pierce. He also mentioned his book, his second book. We recorded this such a long time ago that he was like, oh, the book will be out by then. It's out. So go look for that. He's got 2 books out. And yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and always being here and being the most supportive companion listeners in the entire world. We can't thank you enough. And we'll see you next week on How Come. All right, bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I've still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz